I'm always delighted to be with Saul News, who's been such a leader in the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
Welcome to the Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for March 4th, 2022. The Washington Free Beacon reports, Biden admin sanctions not enough to deter Putin, Republicans say. Republican foreign policy leaders in Congress are pressing the Biden administration to enact another wave of sanctions on Russia, including measures to ban all of Moscow's banking institutions from accessing the international financial system. 16 lawmakers led by Representative Pat Fallon, a Republican from Texas, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, wrote to the White House late Monday demanding that a new wave of much tougher sanctions be slapped on Moscow, according to a copy of the letter obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. The letter argued that the Biden administration must implement sanctions that would stop all Russian banking institutions from accessing SWIFT, an international financial system that most of the globe relies on to conduct transactions. Disconnecting Russia from SWIFT would effectively cut its economy off from the rest of the world and deal a massive blow to President Vladimir Putin. The letter comes amid a slew of calls from Republicans in the United States and other world leaders, including Ukraine's president, to deal Russia a crippling economic blow for its unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. As Russian forces move deeper into the country and threaten to seize its capital, Kiev, demands for another tough round of sanctions have grown louder. The letter from Fallon and his colleagues codifies many of the toughest measures that can be taken against Moscow short of war. An article from the Federalist lists 17 absurd lies Biden told during his State of the Union speech. In a desperate bid to console a nation reeling from crises he created, President Joe Biden delivered his first official State of the Union address on Tuesday. The Democrat attempted to downplay his plummeting approval by promising to do better in his second year in office, but instead offered a speech riddled with falsehoods and contradictions. While Biden's address was supposed to breathe new life into his presidency, Americans are meanwhile plagued with rising prices, a southern border crisis, and now an overseas conflict that leaves them feeling like the state of our union is in crisis because of Joe Biden. Here are 17 absurd lies Biden told during his State of the Union speech. The American Rescue Plan worked. Biden touted the American Rescue Plan as a significant boost to the economy that helped working people and left no one behind. But he neglected to mention it was this sudden influx of federal cash in a slowly rebounding economy that contributed to the inflation and rising prices plaguing Americans today. I created lots of jobs. Biden touted the rising U.S. job record as one of the highlights of his first year in office, but failed to mention that the only reason the job rate is growing is that millions of people are returning to work after tyrannical bureaucrats shut down the economy for months in the name of stopping the spread of a virus. You can read the remaining 15 lies by clicking on the link in the description below. And finally, The Hill reports, Scott says his plan could change after McConnell rebuke. The chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee said Wednesday that he would continue to work on the policy agenda he released last week, emphasizing that it was his own slate of proposals rather than the party's after it received pushback from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. In an interview with The Hill on Wednesday, Senator Rick Scott said Republican candidates across the country would run their own races independent of his plans, even as national Democrats signaled they would use the proposal to cast Republicans as tax raisers who would also end programs like Social Security and Medicaid. McConnell and senior Senate Republican leaders had distanced their party from Scott's proposals. In a rare public airing of division, McConnell told reporters on Tuesday that Scott's plans will not be part of the Republican Senate majority agenda. He said, quote, "We will not have as part of our agenda a bill that raises taxes on half the American people and sunsets Social Security and Medicare within 5 years." McConnell made this statement moments after Scott left the same press conference to return to the Senate floor. This week, we'll let President Joe Biden have the last word.
Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases.
And that concludes your Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for March 4th, 2022. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.